Hello, I hope you are well. It has been a hot minute and I think I was getting all in my head about doing certain things and I just really wanted to connect about knitting this week. And the video I have planned for next week is not knitting related, but is something that I'm very excited to be making, if I'm honest. Oh, we have a troublemaker. Hello. Are you going to come and join us? Oh. Right in there. Here she is the kitten. This is Audrey if you've not met her. In-house familiar. She's a dream. Anyway, yeah, so I've been doing loads of knitting. I have a couple of projects that I can't share because they are for a magazine, which is really exciting. So that's a kind of spoiler, but I think that's a spoiler I'm allowed to share. But I've been doing so much other knitting that I just really wanted to sit down and share. Because, you know, I don't really have many knitting friends locally. I have one, and she's a school teacher and very busy, so yeah, how are you? Please let me know. Like, I've been trying to find a balance lately, and I don't know. I tell ya, I'm feeling weird. There's something about at the moment, our energy is all over the shop. But we're doing what we can to nurture ourselves. We're taking a bit of time, you know, lighting candles in the bath, getting out for a run when I can. And I think this evening I'm going to do some yoga because I haven't done it in a little while, and by yoga I mean asana practice rather than other practices, and I just feel like that'll do me some good. Hopefully you do something that does you good, whether that's crafting, knitting, that would be cool. Anyway, I've got a feeling I'm going to talk quite quickly because it's been a while and I feel like I've got loads to share and say, but I'm going to consciously try and slow myself down a bit because otherwise I'll be giving like 2 hours information in 10 minutes, and I don't think that's the energy we want today. We want to mellow it down, chill it out. So, up front, got myself a cup of tea. It's a smaller cup than I've been drinking. I've been having 2 smaller cups if I can, or just one of my big ones because caffeine is doing wild things to me at the moment, so I'm slowing down my intake. They're saying that I had a decaf coffee at, I guess, midday yesterday, and I slept fine, which really surprised me. So there's maybe it's not anything to do with caffeine and it's to do with the weird energies around. Anyway, let's stop talking about that. I am also wearing a jumper that I made. I love this jumper. I've been affectionately calling it my Wild Magic. I haven't done the duplicate stitching I was thinking about doing, so I was going to maybe add some black duplicate stitch along the top of the shoulder underneath the seam under the arms and maybe along the sleeves. I tried it. It didn't look very nice on the brioche. I don't know if maybe I was just tired and doing something a bit wrong, but I'm happy with how it is. I really love this thing. I knitted it self-drafted. I knitted it flat in panels, and I really just wanted to use up one project, most of the superwash yarn that I had in my wall pantry. So it was being used and into something that was kind of handy, and given that my Varpoo black jumper, so I've got a big black oversized black fluffy jumper that I shrunk, is ruined. This was kind of perfect timing because even though it's really quite bright for me, the black and the colours seem to work, and I'm wearing it almost as often as I was wearing that, so it's kind of been a replacement accidentally. Do recommend. I was considering maybe writing this one up, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if that's the thing that we'd be interested in, but I was thinking about it because I think it's a really good one for using up odds and ends, and I keep looking away and looking at this. I'm sorry. It's like a little mini learning curve. It's like getting on that bike and getting realigned. But yeah, really happy with this one, even now, and I like this bit. It's got like a sort of split hem. Today I've just looked down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Today I've got 7 finished objects and 1 work in progress. Oh, 2, I guess, to show you. So, guess we should get started. I don't know which one to share first. I think let's get one that you've seen before out of the way, right? Like, I've knitted this so many times, let's just do it. And it's also superwash, which I know no judgment at all. If you like superwash and you need to use it for certain reasons, it's totally valid. I'm not here to, it's just my personal preference. But superwash merino singles in particular are not my thing. I'm too hard wearing on them. I really need a plied yarn or a high spun yarn really, or a toothy yarn that's going to hold itself together. But this is another My Secret Summer Crop by Jessie May. It's a pattern that I've knitted probably a dozen times at this point. I cast this on a little while ago because I wanted another summer top. I had this yarn to use up, and yeah, I also wanted something that I could wear under this one that didn't collect the fluff so clearly, since, I mean, you can't really tell. This one is molting so much still, and it's such bright colours that with all the black that I wear, it is very noticeable, and it's a bit of a pain. So this was kind of a useful thing, and also very easy to knit. To me, it's like knitting a hat or something. It's just, you just do it until here, and this is really not very much knitting of thinking and then straight onto the straps, which again require no thinking. So, pattern that I love. I've knitted loads of them. I wear them as tops, I wear them as bralettes. It's good. I think I did the second size on this one, and didn't do any modifications. I maybe added an inch to the body. That's what I tend to do. I will... Where's my paper? I'm going to note it down. I'm going to write notes. I'm going to put this on my body and show you it on. And then I'm going to have done that again in the future. And so we're just going to pretend like I've already done it in the future talking. Time is a weird soup. But yeah, I really like the colours on this too. I think lime green and pink seem to be the thing I love. I mean, I've always been a pink and green, well, I've always been a green gal, and in more recent years I've been quite a pink gal. But pink, green, black. Let's share something different. This is a kind of a different colour for me, because it's not for me. It's very cute. I was very kindly sent the yarn for it, and the yarn that I used was Fibre Silk Mohair. So, Fibre Silk Mohair and Spinny. The silk mohair is 25% silk and 75% mohair in colour number 22. And this one is 100% pure new wool in the colour number 3. You'd have thought they'd like align the colours ish. But really lovely yarn. I've used both of these in the past, but the lovely people of Unit Toronto sent this to me very kindly. And they also sent me the pattern for the Lanita, which is a pattern by Claudia Q, who is the owner of Unit. And it's from a publication. I haven't seen the full thing, so I can't talk about it. This pattern was very easy to follow. I was sent just like a Word document with the information. Very straightforward, but it's the Lanita and it's tiny. This is for one of my lovely friends who is due to have a baby today. So I'm gonna get this in the post to them with a little selection of goodies today or tomorrow. But it's very cute. I haven't added the button on the back because it has this cute little scalloped edging. I haven't added a button on the back. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary on this one. I did the second size. It's so cute. I had a real nice time knitting this because it knitted up so quickly, but everything had a bit of interest. So, you know, from the scalloped edging, it was knitted top down. The little eyelet increases in the yoke. Then this bit just knitted up super quickly like a dream. And these are also knitted bottom up. It has a little bit of edging on the bottom. And it went really quickly. I seamed this and I think the first few stitches, I don't know why I did it a bit dodgy, but I did do it a bit dodgy and then it all evened out. And the same again on this one. There's a couple of stitches that are a bit, but I don't think baby will mind that there's a couple of dodgy stitches. But yeah, super cute, really nice pattern to knit up. And I think I will be knitting another one of these for another pregnant baby. Not a pregnant baby, that's not how that works. Another pregnant friend of ours. So really cute, really nice pattern. I can't show you that on my body unfortunately, but it's cute. And I wove in all the ends, if you can believe it, because I definitely haven't on this one still. I will do it, I promise. Keep going. I don't think I showed you this finished. That doesn't make sense to me. If I have, I do apologise, but I'm pretty sure I haven't. This is my Ghost Whisperer by Parker Knit that I have once again modified. I used a gorgeous colour. I love this one. This is Merfolk Lagoon by the Corner of Craft or Chromatic Yarns. Hannah is one of my favourite dyes of all time, and this colour, I don't think it does it justice. Let's get it closer. You can see there's like pink moments and sort of goldy yellow moments. Give me a fluffy lace base and I am a happy girl. Give me one of Hannah's and I lose my mind a little bit. So I knitted this to the second size. I lengthened the body ever so slightly and I modified the sleeves as I did previously. I have written simple instructions on my Ravelry page. I've been asked a lot for them. I'm not going to give you the numbers because I think that's unfair on the pattern. But all I will say is, I'll say it again, I knitted to the length I was happy. I did one round of really rapid increases and then did a bind off. To get the amount of increases, all I did was double check my gauge. I wanted to know how much wider I wanted my, the edge to be. And then I just figured out how many stitches I needed to increase. There's plenty of knitting calculators online, so if you're not sure at the rate in which that you want to increase in terms of like how to distribute them if it's a slightly wonky number. So if you're trying to increase 23 stitches over 100, say, just go on to the knitting, type in knitting calculator, increases, and you will get that information. It's a dream. It's a breeze. But yeah, I love this thing. I love this modification. I have yet to knit the normal sleeve for this pattern, but I don't know that I will. I like the frill, and I like that it gives so much room on the underarm in the summer. So yeah, I love this one. I'll show you it on my person and you can see. It doesn't use a full skein of yarn for the second size, which is, I think, is amazing. I have this much left, so quite a bit. This, it's going to be something special. It's going to have to go into something special, whether it is something like this or maybe a fun half and half, we'll see. But this colour. So you knit, I didn't describe how you knit it. Oh, I feel weird. I feel like this is chaos. Anyway, we'll try. So it is knit in the round from the bottom. You knit up to the underarms. Then you knit the front and back separately, including a few decreases. Then you knit up the back and front and 3 needle bind off the top. I guess you could graft them. You could in any way you want. You could do a Kitchener graft, then pick up stitches for the underarm and the sleeve and just knit them in the round. I really like this method. I'm not choosy from bottom up or top down. I've still not really found a preference actually. I thought top down would be it, but the more I'm doing bottom up, the more I'm kind of happy doing it. I guess that's confidence, it builds. This one is a test knit and I think it's going to be released in 2 or 3 weeks time. And this is one that I finished quite quickly. I was knitting it alongside projects that I had to knit on, and this was like a welcome little treat as like a, you know, this is a for fun selfish knit. Not selfish, I don't think that's the right word, but you know, this is a slightly more self-indulgent knit rather than a project that I have to knit. And it didn't take me very long to knit it, just I think 3 or 4 evenings maybe a bit longer. The yarn itself is an absolute dream to work with. It is Jaipur Fino silk in the black colour. And I originally wanted to knit or re-knit a Look at My Holes by James N. Watts. And then I divided for the underarms and James released a update which gives the Look at My Holes neck shaping, and I would really like to try it. I think that is something that will be in my future. But I stopped knitting on the version that I was knitting, unripped it with the intention of re-knitting it with the neck shaping, but then a few days later a test knit came up for a batwing mesh top and I was like, oh well, I have the yarn ready to go. This kind of seems perfect. It means that I'm not re-knitting the Look at My Holes again in the yarn that I'd already used and had a little bit of, you know, with. But I've actually worn it so much and it's become it feels like such a natural piece in my wardrobe that I haven't taken pictures of it. So I will do that today, I think. I can't wait to show you it on. This pattern. I knit the second size and used 288 meters, so just shy of a full skein. I think I had 5 or 6 grams left. I knitted I started with the second size, then only increased up to the smallest size, and then otherwise followed the pattern as written. There was no, I didn't hit any issues in the pattern. James is usually really, really good at those things. So a good size range. I think it is another perfect summer top. Like I said, I was wearing it loads. The temperature here in the UK has dropped significantly. It's gone from sort of almost 30 degrees most days for like a week or two, to pretty chilly. It's gone down to 17 degrees in the house, so I'm wearing jumpers. But this was such a dream to knit. I will gladly knit it again. In fact, I probably will. I keep thinking about a lovely hot pink version, or a lime green version, but this is the one really. I don't need any more. It's fine. But if this ever dies, I will have no issue re-knitting it. But I'll mention it again when it's actually released, because for all of those that are interested in, well, just anyone. I know that quite a few people initially were like, oh, I couldn't possibly. You can. It's such a good item, and it's really nice to wear something in the summer that is genuinely very, very wearable, especially in the silk. The silk was a treat at Christmas for myself, with some Christmas money I was given. And I don't remember it being too expensive considering what it is and how nice it is. I keep picking this fluff off of it. But yeah, super pleased with this. Very grateful to have been chosen, because this couldn't have got on my needles any quicker. Oh, calm down. Finally, I have two of the same thing. Actually, they're very different. As you can, this one lights up my face, this one darkens my face. But I have two of the same things, and they have fringe, and I truly, truly love these items. This was the original, and this item was inspired by the colour, and if you are into Dungeons and Dragons, maybe if you're not and you've seen the Dungeons and Dragons film, the colour, even though this is the colourway Ectoplasm by Amo Yarns on the DK and mohair base, in my head it was gelatinous cube. It couldn't have been anything else, and this actually inspired the design. I still do this. I don't feel like a designer still. Maybe I should say that I am. I don't know. I don't think so. But that inspired the design of this item, and whilst I was playing severe yarn chicken and doing the best I could with what I have, I still truly love this item, and I've worn it quite a bit. And equally, I'm happy with this version, which has the modifications that I have written up. I can't believe I've written a pattern. It's been a long time, or at least it feels like it has, since I've written a pattern that I've been truly excited to do. I think it was Drop Dead Freddy was the last one. And to share even... I think I enjoyed this one so much because I did it quietly. And I feel like there's a huge amount of anxiety and pressure that comes with sharing patterns, that partly self-inflicted, but also just the nature of wanting to do things good and as accessible to everyone as possible. But anyway, getting back to this, I think I had so much fun doing it because it was private. And this one I used yarn which won't be for the main samples. This was purely because I had it and I wanted to test the modifications and have a black version, because if you were here for a while, my modified Varpu cardigan also got shrunk in the wash, and as much as I thought it was going to be wearable, it's not. And I will knit probably another cropped cardigan at some point in the future, but this is cutting the mustard even better at the moment. I will show you these on my person properly in a second, but the project utilises a thicker yarn, a DK yarn, and a mohair, and has some very, very extra sleeves that I love. And I am so impressed that I managed to find fringe that matched this perfectly. I must have looked at sort of 18 different companies when looking for the fringe, and the one that I found, actually, she has photos that seem to give the most real idea of colour, because the black matches almost perfectly, which I know sounds strange, but there's so many different blacks that you can get. So I was really chuffed, but I'll show you the pink in a second when we're talking about it, but here is the item on my body. I'm so happy with it. Like, honestly, I can see myself like wrapped up with big jumpers underneath this on the beach, which is why I'm knitting the next version that I'll share with you. I can't wait to knit the final version because one of my favourite dyers ever, who I've already mentioned today, you can guess who that might be, is potentially, or is, creating a gelatinous cube colourway. So I can reknit it in the actual idea of what it's meant to be, because this is lovely, like this is fun, but to be able to have a gelatinous cube with something inside it, super exciting. Okay, well, stop being nerdy. Yeah, I can't. Anyway, so the third version that I'm knitting, and I'm knitting this one because I wanted to knit a summer version, which utilised not a DK weight yarn, but something more summery and lightweight. And I reached out to lovely Jess of Ginger Twist, and she very kindly agreed to send me yarn for the second sample. So this is her 10th anniversary celebratory colourway called Design of a Decade. It's a gorgeous, slightly warm hot pink, but still cool enough that I adore it. And this is the mohair base, fluffy lace. This is the Leading Lady lace base. That's fun to say. And this one is the Sweet Flax base, and this I used to knit the second version of the Ghost Whisperer that I knitted, and it is 50% alpaca, 25% linen and 25% silk. I did it, I got it right. It's baby alpacas, it's super soft, it's got a gorgeous drape, and it feels lovely in the summer. And I'm knitting the third version of this, and I'm still enjoying it. You kind of think, oh, after twice you'd be bored. I'm not bored. I really love knitting this. We're this far. It doesn't look like a lot right now, but I've done the top to the underarms, and then I have worked a little stripe in there, and I'm not far from adding some short rows in. The idea of it being for summer with like beachwear, which I don't know, is that a thing? Yeah, beachwear's a thing. But also black dresses, perfect. Black jeans, perfect. Black skirt, perfect. Culottes, perfect. But would you believe it? Ordering stuff online, I just feels quite risky if you're trying to deal with colour. The owner, I think her name's Jen, of the company that I ordered this from, which I have a thing for, Sparkle's Bizarre Haberdashery, who now has a website on, like a normal website. Start that again. Jen owns Sparkle's Bizarre Haberdashery, and I found her on eBay, having looked at so many different companies, trying to gauge if their colours were accurate and if they would match. But I've ordered both the green and the pink online, and I just can't get over how accurate the colours in her photos were. So I don't know if that's something that I had set up on my screen, but I haven't adjusted any of my display settings on my computer, so I'm just really impressed with that, and I know that that doesn't happen often, so I would recommend. But I can't resist the fringing. I did think about making the fringing myself, but honestly, I just think it looks so cool, and the fact that it just hangs perfectly without... So I've used straighteners to iron my tasselled earrings that I've made out of yarn. Does anyone else do that? I like them a lot, my little tasselled earrings. I especially wear I've got another yarn from Hannah at the Corner of Craft that I've just used every last inch of, and I made tassel earrings to use the very last inches. But when they're put in a drawer or put away, the yarn can get a little bit wibbly wobbly. So I just use a hair straightener, and job's a good one, totally fine. Not sure if that's the correct way of doing things, but it's hair. So yeah, really enjoying knitting on this, trying to not knit on it too much so that I can knit on the magazine project and get that finished, but also still letting myself have a little bit of a change. I've been knitting quite a lot recently, so I have been consciously doing different movements with my hand. That includes spinning, and I do have some spinning to share with you, not the spinning that's on my wheel, but a bit of drop spinning, which I've been really enjoying. I've also been doing a bit of painting. I've been doing the project that I'll share with you next week, and what else have I been doing? Feels like a lot. Also a bit of mending clothes in my wardrobe and adjusting them, you know, that's been quite satisfying to do. And I think I've got a few t-shirts that are band t-shirts that are really oversized that I might try and make into either cropped t-shirts or like baby t-shirts, like make them fitted. I just think that might be fun. Anyway, talking out loud. So the drop spinning I've been working on is on this spindle, which I can't remember where, like the brand, but it was a very generous gift, and this is my favourite spindle. It is so smooth, it spins for ages. It's just gorgeous. And as you can see, I've only just started again. So I filled up a bobbin with what I had on here, because what I want to do is do half of this gradient, which I have divided out. It goes from this little like beachy pink colour round to like it's almost like a dirty maroon purple. I really like these colours, and it does look so different spun, because that's that colour. And that's the bobbin that I've got. And I'm going to apply them opposite so the gradients go back on themselves. Yeah, I've really been enjoying it. It's been a nice welcome break standing up, and also, like I said, doing a different movement with my hand. I'm quite conscious of protecting my hands and wrists if they're part of what I do for a living. This actually was one of the last projects that I saw my granddad with, which sounds like a strange thing to say, and it kind of is, but I just remember sitting with him kind of looking at me a bit like, huh, and my grandma being quite impressed that I was spinning. And yeah, I feel like now I've kind of properly said goodbye to him. Like, he's still with us, we joke all the time and say things that he would always say, but we recently went to spread some of his ashes, which was lovely. Anyway, yeah, I feel like it's time to spend some time with this project, and it's kind of tour de fleece, so I kind of quietly just not be part of it, but feel like I'm spinning with some of my pals too. Yeah, what I had these other bobbins, I can't remember why, but I ended up winding it onto this so that I can continue with the project that's on my wheel, otherwise I will not have enough bobbins, because I think I'm going to have to get them custom made to fit on my wheel. I'll probably make them myself or ask my dad to help, but they're big bobbins, like 3 times the size of this, I would say, easily. So yeah, but I will ply onto one of those bobbins so that, but I will ply it onto one of my normal bobbins so that I can use the wheel to ply it. I don't think I'm going to drop spin to ply it, but I could. Yeah, really enjoying it. It's coming out a lot more smooth than I thought, and I think I've done quite a good job keeping it consistent to how I was originally spinning. This looks a bit chunkier, and I think that's because I was at the tyre shop getting tyres changed because they'd more than done the work they needed to do probably a year and a half ago, and I was just sort of a bit nervous, and my hands were a bit damp from nerves, so I think that's why that's a little bit chunkier. I'm not too worried about it, but I think we'll go back to spinning a bit more fine when we pick that up, hopefully this evening. Yeah, I think that's everything. There are other projects, you know, like Alex's elf mail, which I will get back to once magazine knitting's done, and my other half and half wrap, and I think I'm going to cast on another one fairly soon, just so that in the moments where I don't feel like knitting on anything else, I've got another one of those on the go. Because the first half I'm going to do in 1 or 2 colours, and that'll be easy to transport, whereas the one that I'm working on at the moment is not a take it anywhere project, it's just a big basket of goodness. Yeah. Have I got any footage? Probably a little bit. Couldn't tell you what, because it's been a while. Since we've kind of gone into nature, we're getting a little bit, I think that's maybe why we're a bit weird at the moment, Alex and I. I think we've not been outdoors in nature nearly enough, especially considering how good the weather's been. And it's kind of getting us a little bit blue, if you will. But we have seen some cool bands. We went to see Rancid a few weeks ago. That was really, really good. A lot of fun. We did also get home from that to find out we had no hot water. That was fairly swiftly repaired, but it was a bit gross. We needed to boil water on the hob so that we could get clean after that gig. Yeah. Have I got any other updates? Probably, but I will stop the waffling and thank you for sitting down and joining me. I know it's been a while. I know the energy's been, you know, like I haven't shared in ages, etc. But I've been working on a lot of projects, just not ones that I can share. Anyway, I can't thank you enough for being here. I hope that no matter what you get up to over the next week or so, that you get a little bit of joy. You feel a little bit less weird than I do right now. And if you do feel as weird, it's good to be on a level. Excuse my manky fingernails. I will go and repaint them very soon. And yeah, look after yourself. Don't forget to love each other. And I love you.